Hi, I'm John. I'm going to show you how the new shutter and curtain controls work, how to operate them manually, what to do in emergency situations, and also how to get started troubleshooting the electronics. These controls completely replace the old system, starting with the console switches for the shutter and curtains, which are now taped out. Instead, you'll command the shutter and curtains using Track82 by selecting the device you want and the direction. Hold down on the Shift key, wait until the buttons turn green, and then click and hold the direction button. If you jump the gun and click too soon, the motion won't start, and if you move the mouse off the button, the motion will stop, same as with other Track82 buttons. You can latch the upper and lower curtains together so they move in tandem. This can be very useful when you're observing a target for many hours and you want to maintain the gap between the curtain edges. To help make space for all these new buttons, please note the setup button is now relocated to the lower right corner. At the moment, the control signal uses the observatory Wi-Fi, and so far that has been adequate. However, if Track82 doesn't give you control, or Track82 isn't running, you can operate the shutter and curtains manually from this control station accessed from the mezzanine level next to the bridge. While normally only certain observatory staff are permitted on the mezzanine level, all observers should be trained to use these switches and are authorized to be up here if needed. Let's go up and take a closer look. As you walk around the mezzanine, stay clear of the orange slip ring cover and the drive cable. Make sure the dome is not rotating before you climb the stairs. We're now at the manual control station, which has 3 switches. The switch on the upper left controls the upper curtain, the lower left controls the lower curtain, and the switch on the right by itself controls the dome shutter. The mnemonic for the dome shutter is open up, and close down. Moving the upper curtain switch up raises the upper curtain. And of course, moving the lower curtain switch up raises the lower curtain. If you latch these in Track82, they'll move in tandem. The power control enclosure has 3 indicator lights that match the switch positions that illuminate if the motor protection devices trip, which can happen if the motor is overloaded or there's a phase loss. In some cases, like loss of phase that cuts control power, the lights won't illuminate, but the motors are still protected. Of course, these fault indicators should never be illuminated. However, if there is a problem, the physical plant will assess what the problem is, make the correction, and then enter the box and use the reset switch on the appropriate overload protection device. Underneath this cover, there's also a test button so you can make sure the illuminators are working and that the device trips properly. If there is a loss of power in the dome and you need to close, enter the old control room. turn on the lights to your right, as these are not on the dome circuit breaker. If these don't come on, you have other problems. Go to the left side of the room. Find the tan cabinet. Open the door and press E-stop. You must do this to make sure that power is turned off to the dome, because the next step could result in a disastrous situation if the power isn't off. Now find the emergency override cabinet. Open this. And rotate this rotary switch. This says inverter power from off to auto. So you're going to turn it clockwise. At this point, the dome slip rings will now be receiving power from these emergency batteries. You can then go back to the manual control station and close the dome. When you're finished, come back here and turn the inverter switch counterclockwise back to off. Only then can you restore power to the dome. Again, if you don't hit E-stop first to make dead sure that there's no power on the slip rings, then turning this to auto could result in serious damage to this equipment. If you're in doubt, just call Physical Plant for help. Track 82 communicates with the control relays in the control box through a wireless bridge at the top of the stairs. Normally, there's nothing that you need to do up here, but I wanted to show this to anybody who needs to troubleshoot this system. It consists of an Antyra wireless bridge. It gets 24-volt control power from the control box, which in turn gets power from the power box, as you saw earlier, on a dedicated Phoenix 24-volt power supply. And the two relay devices in the control box that we'll see in a minute are connected through these Ethernet cables. The other side of the connection is the dome Wi-Fi. And so far, this has been pretty reliable. But if we have problems, I'll get a second Antyra bridge and place it at the top of the north pier, where we'll have a direct connection with an unobstructed view at all times. For troubleshooting the system, you won't need any documents from the electronics shop. All that control equipment, starting from the console and ending at the motors, is gone. Inside the control box, you'll find the complete schematic diagram for this system that will guide you through the helpfully labeled wiring in the control box and power box. Thanks for watching, and if you have any questions, don't hesitate to contact me.